guys, it's time to talk about our February reads.
Let's do that.
So I read 12 books in February, and most of them were in audio, so I don't actually have physical copies. So here they are. So my first book was finishing up Retribution of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin. Then I moved on to Delirium by Lauren Oliver. Then I had a reread of Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Then I read The Four Loves by C.S. Lewis. Then I moved on to the second book in the Grisha trilogy, which is Siege and Storm, also by Leigh Bardugo. Then I finally finished the Match trilogy, Reached, by, who's this by? Ali Condi. Then my blind date with a book came in, and it was this one, How to Tell If Your Cat is Plotting to Kill You, by The Oatmeal, and I forget what his real name is, so yeah, it was this comic book thing, so yeah. Then I listened to Shades of Grey by Jasper Fforde, out of rebelliousness for 50 Shades of Grey. Then I listened to the first two books of C.S. Lewis's space trilogy, which were Out of the Silent Planet and, what's the next one? Oh, Paralandra by C.S. Lewis. Then I picked up Divergent by Veronica Roth and reread it because I wanted to be ready for when Insurgent comes out this March.
Yep. Right now, we're reading the series of Unfortunate Event books together, and in February, we read The Reptile Room
and The Wide Window by Lemony Snicket.
I read a total of 5 books in February, and 2 of them were the series of Unfortunate Event books, but the other 3 are The Eye of Minds by James Dashner, Atlantia by Ali Condi, and The Bellmaker by Brian Jacques.
So third place, the Bronze Award for February, for me, was Divergent by Veronica Roth. This was, like I said, a reread for me. I read it like a couple of years ago, and yeah, it was just as good as ever. I really enjoyed it. It was kind of fun to reread it and like notice some of the things that I missed the first time. So yeah, and I just remember when I first read it, I just like could not put it down, and yeah, it was still just as good the second time around. So that's number 3. So my second place award goes to the 2 series of Unfortunate Events books that we read throughout the month. Yeah, I'm really enjoying these. I only read like the first one and maybe part of the second one, or maybe I did read the entire second one. I don't remember. When I was a kid, but I never finished them. So yeah, I'm just really enjoying them. Just a sign of a good children's book is when you can enjoy it when you're older too. So yeah, so second place are these. And first place for February is...
What is it?
What is it? What did I say it was?
I don't know. This is kind of awkward.
What was it? What did I say it was? Oh, I remember. Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. It's part of the Grisha trilogy, and it's actually the second book, but I actually enjoyed it more than Shadow and Bone, which is the first book, and it was a reread. I read it last year for the first time, and yeah, there's just things that happen in this book that I just found like more interesting, and there was like new characters that were introduced that I really loved. So yeah, I really enjoyed reading this one the second time. So there's that.
So, for my list, the number 3 spot, which gets the Bronze Award, goes to a series of Unfortunate Events, The Reptile Room. So, this book's about 3 kids whose parents died, and they go to relative, and, well, they went to another one in this book, and he's, like, all into reptiles and everything. It's really cool. But...
And kind of creepy, too.
I know, it's, like, really, all these snakes. But one thing leads to another, and stuff doesn't go as planned or that well. I really like this book because there's a lot of funny parts, and you love all the characters, and the plot's really set up well, and you just want to keep on finding out what happens next. So, this book, Bronze Award. The book that gets the number 2 spot, also the Silver Award, is Atlantia by Ali Condi. So this book is basically about these people who live in an underwater city called Atlantia, and it was built because Earth was getting really polluted and bad, and they wanted the human race to survive. And our main character is a girl called Rio. Her name is Rio. She's not a pet. Okay. So her name is Rio. And she's at this ceremony with her sister, and they can choose if they want to go to the surface or stay below in Atlantia. And Rio's sister does, and she's like really shocked and sad, and she can't go up because you have to have a family member down below. So she's sad, and then through the book you see her trying to come up with plans and meeting new people. And I really like this book because, well, the plot itself is good. I mean, it's interesting. You want to keep on finding out what happens. And I like all the characters in the book. And overall, it's just really made well.
Maybe
Okay.
well written.
Well written. So, the gold award goes to A Series of Unfortunate Events, The Wide Window by Lemony Snicket. I don't know if I said that about the Reptile Room, but yeah, it's made by Lemony Snicket. So, in this book, the Baudelaires, that's the kid's last name, they go to another relative, and of course, things go bad. But like the second book, it was so interesting. I always wanted to find out what happens. And you know all the characters, and it's really funny at parts, but then it's also kind of sad. And it's not too similar to the second book. I mean, there's kind of like the same setup, but it's still its own thing. Mm-hmm. And it's just so good. The only complaint I have is that I wish it was longer. So it gets the gold award for me.
Last up, honorable mentions. So my honorable mentions for February actually were 2 books. Again, I'm kind of cheating, like I did with Lemony Snicket. But mine was the Space Trilogy, the 2 first books of C.S. Lewis's Space Trilogy books, Out of the Silent Planet and Paralandra. Yeah, I don't know, like, I'm a huge fan of the Narnia books, and I still think I like those the best. These were really interesting, but like, Out of the Silent Planet was pretty good, and it was fairly short and interesting. And then Paralandra was pretty good, but it really dragged kind of middle-endish, and I just kind of couldn't like wait for something to happen. But they were both still very interesting. They were a lot like just chunkier, like reading level-wise, if you know what I mean. They were just harder to understand and read, so I guess I appreciate them more than say I really enjoyed them, I think. But yeah, I'm a huge C.S. Lewis fan, so I definitely thought they should be included in my honorable mention for this month.
My honorable mention for February was The Eye of Minds by James Dashner. So this book is set in the future, and one of the main attractions and things to do is go on the VertNet, which is a reality video game. And the problem is there's this hacker, and he keeps on messing with people, and so the people can't get out of the video game, and then they just kill themselves because they're so sad, like what to do. But our main character, Michael, is asked to find this guy's location and stop him. So that's just the basic plot of the book. It was good, but I don't know, like, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. But
that's how I felt when I read it earlier.
Sometimes I just kind of bored at parts, or like, oh yeah, okay. I don't know. I wasn't always like, oh, I gotta find out what happens next.
We'll probably do a review on this one,
Yeah.
because I do kind of want to talk about it more in depth.
Because
I read it earlier this year.
Yeah, we both read this book.
Yeah, so
we don't read a lot of the same books. Yeah, that's why it gets the honorable mention. Just wasn't good enough to get bronze or silver or gold.
So that's all we have for today. Until next time.
Bye!